Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Truth Ain't in Us, where we have real talk and no filter. I'm your host, Tonya Wilder, and we are live tonight. So drop in the comments, send in those super chats, and get ready for some real and raw conversation. But before I introduce our guest tonight, I want to go ahead and let you guys know what's actually coming up later in this month. And tonight I'm solo, but Satara will be back next week. Um, so our next two shows we have lined up. We've got JoJo Lindsay, who's a phenomenal designer right here in Atlanta. She does custom gowns, and you may have seen a lot worn by a few celebrities here in Atlanta. And also, we're going to be joined by Sabrine Shabazz. She's actually the creator and producer, one of the producers behind Secret Scores and Scandals. That's a show that's just actually came out on Tubi, I believe either yesterday or today. But yes, so stay tuned for this month. We have a full blown shows coming to you with bold voices and powerful stories and unfiltered truth, guys. But tonight, we're kicking it off with someone who actually embodies all of that and more. Um, he's an actor, producer, storyteller. Our guest tonight is one of Hollywood's most talented and respected actors. You know him as Otis Williams from the legendary movie Temptations, a role that left a permanent mark on pop culture, guys. And one of his favorite lines, and still send chills up people's spines, is "Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. But trust me, tonight everybody is here to see Otis." And he also starred in Empire, If Loving You Is Wrong, Netflix Beauty in Black, and with a decade of powerful performances, Charles continues to inspire through storytelling, his faith and truth. Guys, please help me welcome the one and only Charles Malik Whitfield. Welcome to The Truth Ain't in Us, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Wow. What a welcome.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are actually elated that you came on the show, giving me an opportunity. And a lot of people don't know how you and I met. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I worked in security for a security company for many years, and Charles was actually one of my clients, and we actually never met face to face. Correct, Charles?
Just true.
It was all over the phone. I did meet his sister because I believe she was the one that was at your home when I actually came out. But it's good to see you.
It's great. Great.
And before we get started, I got to ask you, I want you to be honest about this. Like, when you actually said that line, okay, ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. Well, when it was, that's one of the most popular
From
lines.
Leon.
Ain't nobody, nobody, ain't nobody, Otis. Do you, what are you like when you first did that role, played that role? And were people like coming up to you, approaching you with that line? Because that's really an infamous line.
It's a wonderful line. Leon Robinson, who played David Ruffin, who did a phenomenal job. All of the guys in the film did a spectacular job. Alan,
Mm-hmm.
director, our producers who's in the past who just put it down. And of course, just the other day, actually, like yesterday, I was actually talking to the real Williams.
Wow.
And looking forward to seeing him in the next day or two. as he still continues to tour and do his music. And so, you know, it's one of those lines actually that resonates not only for the film, but it's really, really cool because the journey, when I first started hearing it, we didn't hear it necessarily initially. You know, I hear different various. That's the most said line, but I hear so many different
Yes.
various lines from the film. What resonates to people. I mean, you know, and so I always laugh. You know, and people enjoy telling me it, and you know, give me the hey. You know, and they put their performance behind it too. So I enjoy it. You know, I love it. You know, and I think it really it holds it's special and dear to my heart because here we had this nucleus of all these gentlemen being a part of not only a story that was so pertinent in history, but also, you know, all of the characters and all of the other people entwined, the families, the real life families, right?
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
40s, these together, that Motown, that Detroit history fabric of the quintessential richness of our music that has just spanned decades, to be a part of being
Hmm.
connective in that connective of telling the story. And so to have a line come out of it, to have a few lines come out of it, to also just be remembered in and referenced in so many different ways, it's an honor. It's a pleasure, you know.
Well.
And it also spans so many other decades and different generations now. So it's
Hmm.
impactful, such another huge impact. And I think it really always, and when I talk to the Otis Williams, he calls me he calls me O too, right? And you know, and you know, it's just it really goes to show you that we have so many diverse stories to tell, and there's so many more stories
Hmm.
highlighted, and everybody should have that opportunity. And you know, just yourself and your family and myself and other family and friends, we all have these specific dynamic stories to tell, really, like no one else can do them. And if we're fortunate to collaborate with wonderful people such as yourself, all of a sudden we have a nucleus of something that kind of
Yes.
lives on its own, outside and beyond our imagination.
Exactly. And I knew it. That line will actually live forever. It definitely will.
Yes, indeed.
So let's get to it. Beauty in Black.
Being black.
Beauty in Black. I believe when I looked up the numbers, it was 8 point something million people watching that show. So it's definitely a hit.
We're in the billion. We're
Oh,
in the billion
whoo.
of hours streamed.
Wow.
We're in. I mean, just to be a part of just such a locomotive uh, of this project that Tyler's created. It's reached number one worldwide
Yes.
instantly. So to reach out to all of these other different countries and to see it reverberate in Italy and Africa and all of these other rich continents, it's pretty
Wow.
fascinating. It's exciting. Um,
That's awesome.
exciting.
So, what makes Beauty in the Black different from all the other projects that you've actually done?
You know, I think we have a special. I really I don't compare. I don't like to ever compare, right? Because I believe
Hmm.
comparing, you 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 lose track of what the dynamic journey is. And I think that there's so many projects actually that need all of the attention and the access the
Hmm.
people. And I think that it could also be monumentally shown to be so effective as well. But certain projects haven't had that access. Now, what Tyler has done is he's earned not only an opportunity to put his best foot forward, but he's also earned the opportunity to have access to have his projects seen in a different capacity and different light, where not only his followers, his supportive group, the people who really, really thrive, and he understands. He understands very
Hmm.
his audience. He knows his audience, right?
Yes,
And so
he definitely
to
does.
have that journey expand of what he has, I think it really, really speaks not only to his foresight, but also where he intentionally is trying to grow, and that is in the growth process. So he
Mm-hmm.
can always be interconnected, not just where we are, but where is the future heading, in
Mm-hmm.
not only to television, film, the spectrum of entertainment, but also the access and the reach. And so this project is one of those cornerstones that allows a extra stamp, for so many more to come
Mm-hmm.
behind. Um, and I think it's beautiful. And I say that too with also an interesting other twist. I've been fortunate to travel to Africa. I've been fortunate to travel to many different countries 20 some odd years ago, and also stand out there and have people run up and have DVDs and certain projects and movies in minds, and they know them front and back. However, we have not been
Yes.
told that we have access there, and you have no idea of how uh, not only people follow your career, but how they also champion your career in your
Mm-hmm.
way, and they also are very aware of all of these projects within the African American culture. So that's a different side when we
Mm-hmm.
don't have access of what we're being told versus numbers, right? And I've out here
Mm-hmm.
to do mathematical equations, but math wasn't my thing in school back in the days,
Neither was it
but
mine.
but the actual
But
proof in life, which is so beautiful, is that the people speak, of all colors, of all dynamic languages, and I think that journey of all these phenomenal actors and actresses that come together, it's dynamic,
mm-hmm.
and he's written and directed something. And what I love about the show, me personally,
Mm-hmm.
every single character, if you miss and you don't pay attention, whoever may be standing in the background is just as pronounced as someone standing in the forefront. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's so beautiful because it really is. When we're artists, we're always taught this one thing that, when artists are excited about what opportunities can lie in the front, what can they, ascend to. They go, well, there are no small actors, and the truth of this
Mm-hmm.
project is there are no small roles.
Yes,
Everyone is
absolutely.
dynamic.
And I have to go back to that math thing. I wasn't good at math either, but I can definitely count money.
Oh,
So-
no, no, go ahead. I agree.
so, what was your mindset when you had to step in the role of Jules? Because Jules, I think a lot of people look at Jules as the bad guy, and you do a hell of a job with that role, by the way.
Thank
So, what was your mindset to get into that role?
I look at roles very differently than I did when I first started. I look at them very differently from 25 years ago to 10 years ago to now. Heavy roles like that, they kind of affect me physically. you know Especially,
Mm-hmm.
I like to move around on a high frequency. If it's too heavy, I really don't like it. I like things to be, pretty easygoing. But I've also had the access in my training and also in my life that I know what darkness feels like. I know what those uncomfortable moments feels like. I know what that 0 to 100 looks like when we go, feels like authentically. But I also
Mm-hmm.
know that I have to pay a dividend for it physically. So for me, it's very important not only to get into the role and to completely commit and be present to receive all of the characters and every in the world that is going on and the sub worlds that are going on, but it's also important for me to leave it just like that and leave it right where it stands and take it
Mm-hmm.
home and go through a detox and clean off and let that be where it is. I don't try and carry with it
Mm-hmm.
carry myself for that long. Many characters that I do, I carry, usually I find a lot of gems, and I find them too, even in this role. When I'm sleeping, certain things come to me, or I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
something, or I find a scene and I'm like, it's great, but it could be something else, or I'm
Yeah.
just I'm looking for something in between the lines, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so thankful for that, but I'm also, I think when you're in the industry, and I believe not just this industry, any industry, that
Yes.
when you get so many no's and you're waiting to hear a yes, that you've got to understand. Don't keep waiting for the yes, and even if it's a no, understand what
Mm-hmm.
it is, be present, and then let it go. And so I've learned the process of letting it go, and I don't keep trying to look back. I can't control the moment that's already passed me, and so I try and stay,
Exactly.
you just geared up where I'm headed. Is most
And
important.
I guess you kind of answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, how do you actually choose the roles that actually align with your truth?
Well, what is truth? Truth is ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
You it has so many so many decisive sides to it. It's colorful in so many ways. What my truth is someone's stark untruth. Truth comes in a form. Sometimes it comes in a form of education. It can be so informative in so many ways. So when I'm looking at roles, I don't look at them necessarily. I've done many roles that could be called cop one, cop two, cop three, right? And you go, cop again, a cop again. What kind of cop, right? But I honestly
Mm-hmm.
am excited that any role can be put under the same title. Whether it be manager, boss, co-worker, whatever it may be. But I look to the individual specific person, and where's their story, where's their journey, um, where are they trying to go, what are they trying to accomplish. Sometimes I've had the opportunity where I can lend myself to that, right? Because I always
Mm-hmm.
collaboration in many ways, director, producer, vision. I can be going a particular way, even with Beauty and Black, and Tyler go, hey, no, go this way. And and that's the beauty of having someone so present with you to direct you and go this way. And so my journey is to lean on that trust, lean in not worrying or overthinking and trying to be so controlling of what I choose to do and what I don't want to do. I think I'm probably more picky about roles that I wanted to do as I was young
Mm-hmm.
versus I look at things as an opportunity. I'm that much more open to doing certain roles in different other projects now. Um, but it always will still come to a core basic organic scenario for me, and I always have to answer the reason why.
Okay, gotcha. And so, how do you use your platform to empower other Black creators?
You know what? I think platforms are dangerous.
Mm.
Because I think that when I believe that I have a platform to some extent, and I say this, taking out ego,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm so fortunate to be so helpful in so many artists and people's lives in a different way, in a complimentary way, as well as they have all
Mm-hmm.
mine. But I say it can also be dangerous because I also know that heavy is the head that wears the crown, and so you have to be careful of what you believe is all that you believe is your platform. What you believe is your platform today is gone tomorrow. So so I understand that,
Interesting.
come from a place where I leave the ego away, and that's a constant journey. Um,
Mm.
you know, we know what as young men and women, and I say this to put it in, as young men, we know exactly what we want our first car to look like: the sound system, the rims, the interior. I mean, the car of the car. But so do women. Shoes need to look like, the dress, the whole outfit
Absolutely.
from beginning to end, right? And so when we lean on those instinctual scenarios that we ultimately have, we then have to say, But before we get there, what do we have?
Mm-hmm.
To start with a empty template and build on that empty template and go, I like this, but what about that? Let me swap this in. And it starts to come together. And so what I always look at myself personally is to say, how am I always willing to know exactly what grassroots looks like? Before
Mm-hmm.
the camera flashes, somebody has to go get the water. Somebody's got to go put the carpet down. Somebody's got to put the backdrop up. Somebody's got to make it look and give it a little more je ne sais quoi, right? And
Yep.
all of these attributes come
Yes.
together, culmination of so many people's efforts, love. And so when I say I have a platform,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult for me personally to say that because I believe my platform is connected with so many people that are not in the forefront, that push me, that that also, we talk about strategically where I want to go. I don't know if people have conversations just in life, not in business,
Mm-hmm.
strategically, what you want to do in your life, emotionally, spiritually, physically,
Mm.
health, family.
Absolutely.
So when we start having these different conversations, I think that apex gives us an understanding. Is it really our platform? Or we've just been blessed temporarily to have a space to do some great work for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm going to play a little game with you here.
Come on.
Have a
Okay.
little have a little bit of fun.
I like games.
So you play, and you're going in and out.
I like
Can you
games. I
hear?
can hear you well. So hopefully I have to speak up a little louder. I'm from the Bronx. I can get loud, but if I get
Uh,
too loud, I sound aggressive.
so you played Otis,
Yeah.
um, you know, and the music and all that, the music industry. What do you think about today's music industry? Because it seems as though R&B barely exists anymore, and we have a lot of female rappers now versus I think the male rappers. The females have definitely stepped up their game. So I want to ask you, um, if you had to choose between these people, who would be your favorite R&B artist? And I'm going to go with Michael Jackson,
Huh?
Beyonce,
Huh.
Prince, or Whitney Houston.
And you say, if I had to choose, which
One
one would be my favorite?
of all times.
Huh. That's really interesting that you brought these names up. It's actually easy for me to answer this, actually,
Okay.
but it's going to be Michael Jackson.
I would agree. I would agree.
Michael Jackson for me. I mean, many can't say it, but I also had the fortune of knowing his family and being friends and spending a little time with him. And I found him to be fascinating. I found him to be funny, really, really. And and so it gave me a different perspective because I think that when we look at entertainers, as well as I have a great perspective of Whitney, I think her family's phenomenal. Knowing some of her
Hmm.
members as well, phenomenal family, and then also with Prince and those people who really poured themselves into his working life. But I say that because people always look at the industry, and we have these. You brought up such great names, but people always look at the industry and they have perspectives that's really strongly built on perception, and they
Hmm.
perceive to think they understand. However, they really only get a great portion and perspective of what the industry is because that is what we sell, right? And I
Hmm.
think that we lose sense more often than not that people are
Hmm.
just people. People are just people, and in between they have to also be entertaining. And
Yes.
so I think they're all just phenomenal. But I'm going to stick with Michael I'm going to stick with
Now,
Michael.
so let's talk about rap. So I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
give you Jay-Z,
yeah, yeah,
Tupac,
yeah.
Biggie, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake.
Hmm. Me from the Bronx, the BX. Me also knowing Tupac, also knowing,
Mm,
rest in peace to both of them. Jay-Z, I don't personally know at all.
mm-hmm.
Um, Number one for me is going to be Jay-Z. And I'm also going to say this, though, and I think that you probably opened something that I get to express because I also speak to it to young people, young inner city kids, kids gang banging, kids, XYZ. I've been in South Africa many, many years ago, probably 20 something years ago, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
believe all the young people in Joburg or in South Africa and Google led to a Mitchell's Plain and they know the words, they know the rap line for line, word for word, and I'm like, you know it better than me, right? And so to tragically lose these phenomenal souls so early, with Tupac and Biggie, also, right? I mean, Tupac would have been, he was 25,
Yeah.
25. And so I'd look at who I was at 25.
Mm-hmm.
We all need the opportunity to know who we really could be if we're fortunate enough to even get to 50. Right?
Amen to that.
So how we affect everyone around us. But when it comes to number one rappers, that's going to be Jay-Z for me. Now, when it comes to number one rappers, that makes me just want to sit back, chill out with my lady, and just know that everything's gonna be all right. And he's just the coolest Mac in the world. That's gonna be Drake. I mean, he's incredible. He's just. I mean, come on, like you know what I'm saying. Everyone in the family is good. It's Drake, right? But with
Mm-hmm.
Jay is just he's just a what I love about him is that not only he's been an architect of the rap game, the music game, but he's also spearheaded the conscious present
Mm-hmm.
of for so many men, women, children of all different races to pay
Yeah.
attention not only the culture but also the business and also the evolution of self and what that can look like. And Nas does it too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I see that, I think that the journey is we're always whatever we believe that we are, you are,
Mm-hmm.
people that someone is, they're always greater than that. And so to get peeks into those different aspects and worlds, I just think that everyone else is blessed to be able to even share a little bit in that.
I agree absolutely.
Beyonce, I mean, Beyonce. I mean, it's right. I might preference that because to be biased, maybe because I'm a male, but 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 also when I think of women, this is something I have to say because it's as real as it gets. For me as
Mm-hmm.
an artist, seeing so many dynamic young women be incredible, beautiful leading Black women, but their
Mm-hmm.
beauty was only for a short amount of time because they were looking for the next. So how do you sustain? How do you evolve? How do you continue? Right? Beyonce's voice, beautiful, uh,
Mm-hmm.
extremely. What an evolution of a woman's woman, right? In all these aspects, and also to continue to not only have a voice pronounced, but also to evolve right in front of
Yeah.
us continue. So she's just, we're not. I mean, you didn't pick any name that is just pretty, je ne sais quoi, basic. They're elite.
They're all favorite, actually. They're
They're
all
they're,
my favorites. So
they're all just supernovas. We're just blessed
exactly.
to even be able to listen to any of them. I mean, they're just really hands down. So but they say.
And you have been in this industry for a very long time.
Yes.
You blessed to stay working. What have been some of your biggest struggles going through this journey? And it's a two-part question here. And do you have a best friend, someone that you actually trust that, and the reason I ask that question is because of social media today. A lot of people fall out with their friends, their family. They come onto social medias to expose each other. So, is there someone in your life besides your wife and your family that keeps you grounded? Biggest struggles for through your journey through success, and that one person that you could count on, that loves you outside of money and fame.
I'm gonna start at the beginning as I unpack what you have presented to me. I'm gonna start at the beginning with my biggest struggles. I think my biggest struggle. I've had struggles. There ain't no struggles. So if I'm picking, I could just pick blindly. Honestly, I've had many different struggles, but in finding ourselves as young men, trying to understand in my head, what voice did I want to listen to? Did I want to listen to the voice that was negative? Did I want to listen to the voice that refused to quit? Did I want to listen to the voice that wanted to destroy everything?
Mm.
Or did I want to listen to the voice that just wanted to conquer? And what and all these voices, they wanted to serve a purpose within me. And so as a young man, my struggle was trying to find a place that didn't feel like hopelessness.
Mm.
Growing up in the Bronx, around burned down buildings, watching, it was very normal for me to watch someone die in front of me on a constant basis.
Wow.
To lose best friends, to watch them take their last breaths, for the gunshots to go out, for us to have easy access to whatever kind of heavy, uh, guns that you could imagine, they were at our disposal. So to see that and find myself in a struggle of, I know I only have a certain amount of time because I know I'm going to die at least before 18 or 21. 21 is really reaching it. But while I'm here, I might as well go all out. And in going all out, there was really a lot of negativity to choose from. And so
So how did you?
I found a lot of different aspects from different people
Mm.
that came in my life that planted the seeds that became that opened up my perspective, that my head came up from looking down because someone said, hey, how
Mm.
about, and what do you think, and why not you? And I go, me? And so that journey and that self struggle to even find a quality in yourself that, and it only has to be a little bit, and you don't have to be the best singer. You don't have to be the best dancer. You ain't got to be the best XYZ. You just got to say, I'm willing to show up and do the best that I can with what little bit that I believe that I have and watch it grow. And so for
Yeah.
myself, for that evolution, I mean, it's funny for me, right? Because, and I really say it's funny to me because for me, looking at the industry, it was the greatest escape from a real truth and reality that was around me. What
Mm.
could happen? What possibilities could be? Could I really get on the stage and perform and become this character? What would it look like if I really trained and leaned into that more? Huh. So some people found escapism from drugs or getting high. I watched some of my closest friends get high and never come back 10 minutes later and watch them be gone 2 weeks later. So
Wow.
understand you can choose something and it can take you away. You can choose something and it also can take you away to give you a different perspective and possibilities. So I'm a product of that. I'm a product of that I'm really thankful for. Um, so when you say platforms, I believe it's important when I speak to these young people. That's important when I speak to everybody that's went and did 15, 20 years. I understand,
Yeah.
identify. We common denominators. I only needed to go one left. And then they
Mm-hmm.
said, oh, not only ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, but ain't nobody coming to see you, Charles Malik Whitfield. Are you locked up?
That's
So
deep.
it turns in just an instant, as they say, as it is above, so it is below. So, so when I look at that aspect, I'm just so thankful of the evolution. And then I think everyone goes through the opportunity. You know, we want to become this butterfly. We want to grow. We want to, uh, you know, spread our wings. Be,
Mm-hmm.
be a little fearless, less fearless as we were yesterday. Try out what it could look like, uh, opening ourselves up to new opportunities and experiences, right? And when
Yeah.
we do that and we become successful, and I believe that is very dangerous for young artists when they become successful really early, really quick, because they hear themselves and the voice that they hear is, that's right, I did it, I got it, and that's what's up. And what I realized, even when I had these different levels of success and different capacities, I found something standing next to me that was so interesting,
Yeah.
and it was arrogance. Because I
Mm.
worked so hard, and I had to work so hard, and I had to fight so hard, and I had to understand and be so focused. But I also couldn't understand while I was doing it. It was this arrogance that was standing next to me, and I recognized it. And so, struggles, right? I talk about struggles. You can't talk about struggles without blessings because, in '03, I also went down a motorcycle accident, was in a coma
Oh,
for
wow.
weeks. And so to be shut down, every movie they're going to do, every television show, and people go, hey, what happened? What happened to you? Where you at? And then it was, am I going to have a leg? Will they chop my foot off?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, kid, we really need to cut it off. And I'm like, well, I don't want to cut it off. And then going in the coma, and then waking up and seeing your loved one, like, damn, I want you to come see me in Cali, but not like this.
Yeah.
So then that was a restart for me as well, right? When we say,
Mm-hmm.
because it gave me such a beautiful, beautiful bookmark of clarity when I understood, when I watched my friends take that hit and also become drug addicts and die in 2 weeks. Well, here I was in the hospital, but every night before 9 something, 10 o'clock, I had to hit the button. And the nurse would come in because my wound was so excessive.
Wow.
Demerol shot every night. And I said, now I could understand why they became dope fiends and they needed it so bad. So now I had to go through a different
Wow.
evolution, right?
Yes.
So and so I was appreciative of that. And then as I really fought to, and I'm so fortunate to have my leg and be able to function and so forth, I get to a place where I'm like, so what's it all about? So what's it all about? So what we really trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
accomplish? And so I think that really brings me, even though it allows me to jump. It brings me to the question you said. So who do you trust and who do you rely on to give it to you real, give it to you raw?
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter is I love to meditate a lot. I know a lot of answers are within. I pray a lot. Every morning, every evening, there's more work to be done and there's more prayers for me to keep writing down, and there's more people for me to pray for as well as.
Mm-hmm.
But I've realized that the dear friends when I was young, and I hope these young kids can understand it. I'm talking about my young friends. I'm talking about we in this together. I die
Your
for you.
homeboys. Yeah.
I die for you. I don't know if you ever heard I die for you. I die for
My
you.
husband's from Harlem, so
And so young people got to understand, be careful when you hear your friends say, I'll die for you. Because the truth of the matter is, no, they won't.
Mm,
You would never want them to die for you. Because I watched the evolution of what that looked like for so many other people, and for people to be left standing alone in unfortunate circumstances. And so we understand that you want to have friends that'll really say, I will live for you. I'll
absolutely.
live with you. I'll love you to life. And I won't love you to death. I'll love you to life. And so when we got that different journey, who can you depend on? You can depend on a lot of people. And I say it's more easy to depend on one or two. If you got one or two in your life, you've got enough. Because the truth of the matter is, it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Quality.
Really about unconditional love. And a lot of people don't know what unconditional love is. And for me, that means tomorrow I'm not gonna make it, and it's gonna be very uncomfortable, and somebody's gonna have to tap me on my shoulder and say, tighten up, Malik, let's go, get it together. I know you
Hmm.
tired, you ain't done yet. And that's
Yeah.
unconditional love, and you got to do the same for your loved ones and the people that you care for too. And it
Mhm.
doesn't happen on a daily basis, because some people believe that has ongoing job for someone that you rely on and that relies on you. It's not a daily thing. It should not become someone's
Mhm.
burden and weight. This is unconditional love is free. It flows just like water. And so when we have water that sits, and you come outside and you see it sitting in any place in space on the floor and it's not moving, then it's dead
Mhm.
water. It's dead.
Yeah.
So relationships for me, I've had a lot of my dearest friends that were confidants and so forth. They're not around anymore. They're
Mm.
gone, passed on. But most people do, when they do see me, they know there's one person I am very close with, and it's one of my sons. And he travels with me, rocks with me. He's grown, so he's single. So I don't know how long he's gonna be single, but he's such a good man. He's such a wonderful qualities, and he's
So.
also, he's the person I have conversations with. Um, Even though I also have greater relationships with a lot of older people that I'm very close
Mhm.
with, because I just identify with their conversations, and but they may be in their 80s as well as I'm one of many people probably on this podcast watching, that I'm fortunate to have my mom daily and active in my life at 93. So she's so present, and she's that spirit.
That's such a blessing.
So I'm really fortunate in that way. She gives it to me straight, you know.
Well, that's good.
So that's
That's
my
good.
answer. That's
Now,
my long.
I want to know. Yes. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you
Hello?
fine.
Okay.
Yep, I hear.
So, what do you think about, what's your thoughts on cancel culture?
Oof, so easy to cancel somebody. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm a big fan on be who you need to be. Be
Mhm.
who so we can understand what we need to do in a space that allows people to build. I believe that when we get together in a space that, you know, I'm fortunate. Honestly, I think I think I'm a role model of an individual, if personally, that I could have been canceled 500 times. If they had cameras back when, I'd have been canceled 500,000 times, and so unfortunately, everything is recorded, that people, and a lot of young people, and it can be weaponized.
Yeah.
It's a definite plus, because it sheds a light on so much, and people need to act right. And I said, when I say cancel 500,000 times, I don't mean because I'm doing something crazy, but I think that we all
Of
make
course.
choices make better choices, or we all say something that's like, was I really saying that? Was that what? What was that all about, right? And so when we do the work and we start doing the work with ourselves, we need a space to grow from. We need a space to grow from, a place to stay, And
Yeah.
so, and listen, I mean, let me give it to you raw and uncut. How about I'm gonna throw it right back to you?
Mm-hmm.
Ready for it?
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I heard it was Black Girl Magic. Where's that now?
It's gone.
See how that went? So when people tell me about culture cans,
Yeah.
cancel culture and all of that, and Black Girl Magic, right? I believe that when people all start throwing out "get the bag" and there's all these new slangs,
Yep.
I don't really get caught up in the journey because I know we quantify them with so much more than that, right?
Exactly.
And so that's why I don't lean on that. I don't lean on sayings more than I really try and honor the respect of quality of human beings and people. And I know that we have so many good people doing and struggling and fighting the good fight for all of us, so we can have that much more information. That I if a saying could just, like, that's just saying with young kids, right? I want to tap them with the young people, like, I'm crash out. I'm like, no, you need to communicate what you need to do. Don't crash out because you're about to lose it, right? And so
Yes.
we know that we have a lot more work to be done, and there's always work to be done, but there's a lot more loving to be done, especially in a time that we're in, that's really not shining a light on so much love. There's so many people that are diligently, earnestly working hard to be supportive of their loved ones and their families and friends, and they need that support. We all need
Yes.
that support, right? It doesn't happen just because we dreamed it and we thought it. I mean, we live in a world where everything is kind of Instacart, Instagram, and
Instant. Definitely. Gotta
and
have it now.
yeah, and the truth of the matter is, a lot of good things take time, and we
Absolutely.
need patience. We need patience, and we need to have that support. I hope I didn't lose you. I mean, I think I'm still here live, so I'm talking
I'm
to make sure
here.
you pop
I'm
back.
here.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So at the end, because I know you got to leave
so
really
good. I got
soon. I
sit right
want
here.
you to finish. I want you to finish these sentences first. I knew I made it when.
Hmm. I knew I made it when it was never about the money.
Okay, I like that. One word that describes 2025 for me is one word.
Hmm. Debut.
Okay, I'll take that. The biggest lesson fame ever taught you is
Good people find good people.
I like that too. And if you weren't an actor, what would your profession be today? What would you be doing?
I was an actor. Before I wasn't an actor, you know what I mean? What would do it? That's a really interesting question. If I wasn't an actor, what would I be doing?
hmm if
Young
it
me,
all
young could answer that question very interestingly back when. Uh, I think honestly, the truth of the matter is, I had a great opportunity to do so, and I had a choice to make. I worked for the post office, and so I was
okay.
going to be a post office worker, and I'd have been dropping your mail off and so forth, and so I would have been well retired some years back, well retired. Um, but I just believe in life that you don't have to choose one thing. You get to you get to live as many lives as you choose to, if as long as you believe it. And so it's really
Mhm.
difficult for me to say that I would ever choose one thing. I would choose a direction, but I'm pretty sure because I would only live in one direction for so a certain amount of time, I would continue on to a different path. I think I'm fearless in that capacity. I'm okay to be uncomfortable in order to go in a different direction.
Okay. And if you had to change anything about yourself, is there anything that you would change, or do you believe that you went through what you had to go through to become the person that you are today? Because that's what I believe for myself.
Yes. I'm such a work in progress. Um, yeah, I would have changed some things. I would have changed one thing, and I'm going to share it. I would have learned to love myself that much earlier. Truly, truly love myself. Not be in a relationship with a girlfriend. Not be like, oh my God, someone's amazing.
And explain that, because what does that explain it to us?
I think that for me, for me,
Mm-hmm.
growing up and finding yourself, so to speak, as a lone wolf in many instances, being able to know how to show up or go and take care of business or be on your own path, that that path can also be lonely, and in that journey that there's not really necessarily a companionship, but I did find a way in that journey of being here and there that I really enjoy spending like a lot of people, some people know I really enjoy spending time with myself a great deal. I enjoy it by myself, right? And I don't and I and I and I don't and stop being isolated, but I also enjoy spending time with people. Um, but when I say loving myself, is that when I was younger and I would watch myself with these relationships with young women, um, that there was a certain love connection that I was kind of looking for that really wasn't about them, but it was really all about me. And so I wish I would have learned that much earlier about myself. And
Yeah.
that took um and I only say that, I mean, not that, right? Would that have dynamically changed me? I don't believe so in the lessons, but I believe that it
Mm-hmm.
would have been more helpful to give me, life is about clarity, right? And focus and
And
what is active, and when we have that epiphany or that evolution. And so, you know, easily to say for me, I had to also learn because of that as a young person. I also had to learn patience. You know, Ronnie
yeah.
Rangel, her name, Fred Rolfe and Ronnie Rangel. There were these directors of the characters, the acting theater company. And so, as she gave me these wonderful roles to perform with the theater company, and I was very young, she annoyed me so much. She annoyed me. And why did she annoy me? She annoyed me because this woman would take every line that I ever thought was possible to have, and she would just take that away, take that away. Now you only have one. What are you doing? People are coming here to see me go one line, And so that would be my inner voice going on, and I'd be like, and she told me something that I was so thankful for and appreciative of. And she says, Malik, don't rush Mother Nature.
Mm.
Just have to be patient. And you can't rush Mother Nature. That part of our lives is just an evolution. you know. But
Absolutely.
I speak to my daughters, when I speak to young women and I speak to young men, it is an important question. And that question I don't think that we really ask often is how much do you really love yourself? How much do you like looking in the mirror at yourself? And when you're upset, what do you do? And what are the tools you use to get upset? And I remember one of our great acting teachers and of the past from Howard, Harry Poe, he would say, if you're very upset and you just can't take it anymore and you're overwhelmed, stand in the mirror and say, I'm overwhelmed. I can't take it anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm overwhelmed. I can't take it anymore. By the hundredth time you say it, you start to laugh at yourself. You start to say, I look foolish. I'm done. Time to move on, right? Because we
Hmm.
need tools to learn how to get past these things that we allow ourselves to be so blocked, and get to how
I
do we
think
get
that,
comfortable with ourselves.
and I think that also makes us a better person because when you can look at yourself, look at your flaws, and recognize your flaws and know what you need to work on, it definitely makes you a better person.
Yes, yes. And you know what? And I like, my kids are so phenomenal, but I'm so thankful for their mom. I mean,
Mm,
just you just have to pay and give all homage and thanks, because that that whatever you're contributing, everyone else is contributing so much, and sacrificing so much in such a way that, like they say, it definitely doesn't have to be all about you. And that's why I also love that line where, "Ain't nobody came to see you, Otis." And I also love the line in Temptations where he goes, "No one man is bigger than the group," you know?
mm,
So it allows you this
absolutely.
scenario that you understand that together, though, but together we're something special, and me just being on my own, well, that's okay too, but together, it always is together or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Charles, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I had many more questions, and we're
Come
going
on,
to
give me
do it
another one.
another time.
Another one.
Hopefully,
Give me one more.
hopefully,
Give me
because I know
oh, we're gonna send them.
give you one.
Give me one more.
Okay, give me one more. So, when you first became famous,
Mhm.
how many? Well, let me put it to you like this: did you become the family ATM?
Mm.
And what I mean by that, family, friends, cousins, siblings.
I'm really fortunate with my family. Really, they don't ask. Uh, they never have. They're very different. Now, friends, they know how to ask. They know how to send cash apps without a phone call, a Zelle, all kind of stuff. Everybody got some different stuff. They also know how to, borrow some money, never give it back. Talking about you good. I'm like, hold on. No, hey, come back here. So I think I've experienced it in all those different phases. I've also had to learn how to say no, which it can be very uncomfortable, but it's also in the best interest of my relationship. And
Mhm.
when I got famous, if you'd have talked to me at 13, I was already right. So they say in your mind, right? I was just different. I was just different famous. Instead of Charles, I was Chuck. Instead of Chuck, I was Beefsteak. Instead of Beefsteak, you know what I'm saying? I was Santina the Great. So they say, man, you got a lot of lives.
Yes. Well, it's been good. I want you to tell everyone where they can find you on social media. And is there anything that you have going on? So go.
Well, you can find me at Malik Whitfield on Instagram. Also Malik Whitfield on TikTok. I'm more active on Instagram. You leave a message, I'll get back to you. I'm really trying to focus on a bunch of my students I've been working with for years. You the new students that work with acting, working with some new directors, with young directors, looking to help cultivate and just, do some special things, as well as planning to do some special things for myself. I would love to tell you where to look out and what you should be looking out for, but I think it's even better not to, because many never know when things pivot or they change. But I'm really just excited. I truly am excited. I want to be alive. I'm thankful to be here with you, Tonya, and I'm great. I know that we need to do this again.
Yes, definitely. We do need to do it again. And hopefully, when you're here in Atlanta, we can do it face to face.
We'll do it face to face. And I'm pretty sure at some particular point, the incredible Tyler Perry is about to drop that next mega episode of Beauty in Black. And I'm just
wait.
I'm so honored to be a part of the show. And simply put, Crystal, Taylor, Rico, Debbie, Richard, Xavier, George. I mean, all of these artists are just phenomenal. I mean, they're all are just phenomenal. I'm just so thankful for them. And more importantly, I have to also say this about this show, and you should know this. The producers are incredible. Tyler's incredible.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget Drew on a dime, incredible. And of course, that costume and fashion, they're not playing. They're incredible. So and I also want to say thank you. Thank you, Tonya. Thank you, Tonya.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And guys, you are watching The Truth Ain't in Us with Charles Malik Whitfield. And please catch him. Well, actually, you can catch him on Beauty in Black. That's Netflix, right?
Netflix on Netflix, streaming, baby.
On Netflix. So please, and if you haven't watched it, please go and watch. I believe we're in season 2. It's really, really good. It's a great show, great actors, and the concept of the show is absolutely phenomenal. Malik, thank you. And when you come back to Atlanta, give me a call.
I will.
I'm gonna treat you to dinner, me and my husband. Yes. So give me a call.
I look forward. I think.
Okay.
All right. Great night.
And thank you. And you enjoy the rest of your day. And I will catch you guys next week, same time, with The Truth Ain't in Us.
Come on.